it just changed for me. The company atmosphere changed, and my sister, who's a broker, just kept saying, you need to do this on your own. Your clients love you. Just go for it. And she helped me realize I could do it and pushed me. And that push happened unexpectedly, and I love it.
Hey everyone, my name is Kyle Wallgren, and this is another episode of Our Texas Town. I'm doing this podcast so everybody locally here in Weatherford and surrounding area can get to know the amazing entrepreneurs and business leaders that are leading our community and driving business to make sure Weatherford's a place we all want to stay, live, and be happy in. Today our guest is Jeanette Hampton from Texan Property Management. She's local right here in Weatherford. Jeanette, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you being willing to reschedule with us and get on the podcast. I've been super excited. I know there's lots of stuff I want to learn about what your business does. But for those just tuning in, what is it exactly that Texan Property Management does?
I work with investors that have small and large portfolios of properties that they want rented out to tenants, both commercial and residential. I mainly focus on residential, anywhere from single family homes, small apartment complexes, and like duplexes and triplexes throughout Weatherford, Granbury, Crescent, and west of Fort Worth.
Is there a certain market that you try and stay in? Or are you kind of through all of them? Is there one market that you prefer over the others?
I like staying close to home and where my expertise is. Weatherford had a need for rental properties, and I had prior company I worked for had me in Granbury, and they had a need for property management and rentals. So that's where I started, and then I went out on my own, and my clients just stayed with me.
Your company started in May of last year. What made you jump into the fire of being an entrepreneur?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for a while. In 2008, I opened 3 national franchises, but they weren't in property management. They were actually in massage therapy. And I've had my license since 1997 in real estate, and I didn't really do much with it. It was 4 rental properties. And I kickstarted back in 2012, went into full-blown property management and loved it, loved everything about it, was in Dallas and lived here in Weatherford and wanted to bring it home so I didn't have to drive, and worked with a company out of Fort Worth. And when they were sold, it just changed for me. The company atmosphere changed, and my sister, who's a broker, just kept saying, you need to do this on your own. Your clients love you. Just go for it. And she helped me realize I could do it and pushed me. And that push happened unexpectedly, and I love it.
What was the jumping into starting a business by yourself is always scary. I think anybody that's done that would agree with you. What was one of the biggest things that maybe you didn't realize you're going to have to be able to do that kind of took you by surprise being a new business owner?
On this, I was really fortunate with a big company. I had a whole bunch of employees that did accounting and the background work of sending letters to all my tenants. So I had to do everything. I had to find the software, just the startup alone, finding an accountant, finding people that knew what I do. And that was really scary for me because I was used to bringing in the business, working my clients, handing them over to a staff that was already in place. So building that staff to support me. And it's a very small staff right now. There's 2 of us. And, but my broker out of Burleson on the Move Realty, Susan Smith, is amazing, and I can rely on her. And I have a team that I also work with. I belong to the National Association of Property Managers, and I go to a lot of conferences. So they support me also if I have questions. So it's relying on your support and your other teams and your groups that you belong to that help me.
Was it hard to get your name out? I know that you said a little bit earlier on that a lot of your clients moved over with you, but as far as finding new clients, has that been a challenge? What are you doing to oversee that?
No, it's not been a challenge for me. Actually, right now, I've kind of, I was the lead business developer for the company I work for. So I'm an expert at bringing in new business. And I've been able to wait to bring on new business until I had all my processes in place, because I didn't want to bring someone on and go, oh man, I don't have these things ready for all these new doors. What we call them doors, new houses. So, no, for me, it's easy. I've got a great group of networking. I know a lot of people. I've got a lot of friends that know other landlords, and then referrals are great. So that's in place for me. And when I have people that call me that I don't work in that area, I have a great group of friends that are property managers that I worked with for the last 10 years, and I can refer them to some excellent property managers.
Maybe some people are just getting into rental. Maybe they have their first property, or maybe they bought multiple properties. What's something they might not know or understand about bringing on a property manager that would bring value to their everyday operation?
We are trained in the things they don't think about, like knowing Chapter 92 of the landlord-tenant laws, the laws of Texas. You have to know them inside and out. Knowing fair housing. It's a federal law that you have to know, and know it by heart, so you don't get in trouble. You have to treat every tenant the same. And your property managers are trained to treat everyone the same. I don't buddy up to one tenant over the other, because I don't want to cause an issue for my owner that could cost them $25,000 in a fine just because I treated one different than the other. And a lot of what I call accidental landlords, maybe you inherited a home, you end up not knowing what to do, and you see this older person that you want to become friends with, and you help them, and then your duplex, the neighbor on the other side, gets jealous, and you're hurting. But a property manager won't do that. They're going to treat them just the same.
So I have a friend that has a bunch of rental properties. They don't use a property manager, but they own a bunch of rental properties. But we had a tornado come through town the other week. 9 of his properties got hit by that tornado. How would a property manager have to deal with something like that? Maybe how would you be helping your property owner in that scenario?
Anytime I have a storm, I'm on it. I spend that very night or day, I'm out. After the storm passes, of course, I go and I look at all the properties. My owners normally do not. I have a lot of owners that are out of state, and I go look at everything. I have tenants that'll call me. I have maintenance staff. I have vendors that work with me. I have roofing companies that they go out for me also. And I hit every city and I look at everything. I've had tornadoes. I've had hail damage. I've had fires. And I work with the insurance companies, so the owners do not have to be on property. Our property management agreement states that I act in your on your behalf. I don't make the big decisions. Of course, they're always involved in that decision, but I'm able to speak on their behalf and help them with any insurance claims. But I'll meet adjusters, and it's pretty easy for them. I take all the calls, all the emergency calls. You know, I got hail hit the window. They're calling me, and they're not calling you at 3 a.m.
That makes sense. I've always wanted to jump into owning investment properties, but with everything I have going on in my other life, I just don't know how I would fit that in. So this is probably a great option for me. Is there anything, that new property managers might be overlooking that you would be willing to give some little insider advice on how to, really take care of their clients' property?
I think all new property managers, and I do a lot of mentoring, is find you a seasoned property manager that'll mentor you. I don't take a new property manager as a threat, because I want to refer my business, and I'm going to eventually retire, and I want to be able to refer people out. Being new, really learn your laws inside and out, to where you almost can quote them, and just become knowledgeable in what you do. And there's only 4% of Texas real estate agents practice property management. That's all I do. And I'm proud of that. My sister's a broker and she sells houses and she's expert at that. And we play off that. She sends me clients. I would also suggest you work with agents that do nothing but buy and sell. Get their referrals and say, hey, you're going to get your client back when they sell their property that they have, which most don't because there's a lot of value. I mean, that rental property is being paid for by the tenant. And that's what we're here for. I'm going to always get you your gross, the most market value for your property and rent.
One of the main reasons that I'm doing this podcast is because I always like starting new businesses. That's my niche, is getting in and starting businesses and building them up and selling them. And I am super interested in business in Weatherford, but learning here and networking and meeting new people has helped me really understand how Weatherford works as a community and, things you have to do to start a business here. And those mentors or network has become super valuable. I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea like, oh, if I talk to another property manager, they're going to go after my business. But you mentioned earlier on, you find you have a niche that you like to work in. Yes. You're an expert in that area. That's where you thrive. So there's other things that, in the industry that might not fit you. And I think that a lot of people get scared of giving a reference or sending a client away, maybe even because it doesn't fit them. Exactly. What's some of the value that you find in and maybe turning a client down?
Well, I find there's some areas I want to take on clients that I can give 100% of my time. So if I have a client that's just outside my area and I know I can drive there and it's really inconvenient for me. If there was an emergency, I'm not going to be able to get there on time or in a timely manner. I would not give them 100%. And I would want to find the best person closest to them. There's a lot of property managers that are an hour away from their homes that they manage. I go by my homes weekly. So I don't want to put a house an hour and a half away. So I will network and find them the best person for their property. And I'm always there if they have a question. If if that property manager needs help, I'll help them. But I'm not going to take somebody on. Maybe their house isn't close to me, or maybe it's not something that it's too big. Maybe it's too big of an apartment complex, but it's not big enough for on-site staff. I'll refer out.
That's super helpful. You'd mentioned that you don't like to, really get too far out because you can't service it as effective as you'd like to. What's some of the areas that you're servicing?
I'm serving west of Fort Worth, so in the Chapel Creek, Aledo, Willow Park, Hudson Oaks, Weatherford, and I go out to Mineral Wells. Most of my properties are Weatherford, Granbury, all over Granbury, Toller, and Crescent. And I have multiple. I probably have 35 in Granbury and over 35 in Weatherford. And they're pretty relatively close together, so it's a lot of duplexes. Most of my clients like to have duplexes because that's twice the money for one property.
I've always been told if you're going to invest in real estate, invest in multifamily homes. Yes. What's the ideal, like if somebody's just like, listen to this, and like, I'd really like to get into owning an asset, what do you think you would tell somebody that's interested in looking for their first asset? What are your favorite properties to manage, and what are your favorite properties for your clients to own?
I would definitely look at duplexes, triplexes, quads, fourplexes, some call it. I would also, if you're going to go look, make sure that the agent that you have is seasoned in investment properties. And I say that with high respect for agents. Sometimes people will get an agent that they don't understand what to look for in a rental property. And that can hurt an owner. But if you can't find one and you love your sister-in-law and you want to buy a house, ask your new property manager, find the property manager first to go with you and let them have eyes on to tell you what needs to be done. Because there's a lot of things in the law that you have to have on that house, and it'll tell you, hey, we're going to need to do this, or this won't work, or this might be a liability. Having a swimming pool is great, but what do you need to do to protect yourself as an owner with that swimming pool. I'm not scared of having a swimming pool, but some people are.
That makes a lot of sense. Swimming pools are a beautiful thing to have. They're a liability if they're not upkept, and they're definitely a liability if you have small kids. So exactly. I totally understand that. If somebody wanted to find out more about what you do, maybe get in contact with you, how do they go about doing that?
I have a website, and it's www.texanpm.com. I'm also local to Weatherford, 817-757-0495. You can call me. I'm a member of the Greater Fort Worth Board of Realtors. You can find me online with the National Association of Property Managers. I'm with the Mid-City Fort Worth chapter. I served as their treasurer on the board. I'm very active in property management. Just went to their owner broker. I stay current on all the laws. And I love what I do. Just absolutely love this.
Well, we'll make sure that in case somebody listening, maybe they're listening while they're driving, that didn't have a pen, we'll put the links and descriptions in the description of this video. Is there anything else that you'd want to mention maybe before we go to something about what you're doing, what you have coming up, or, just anything you'd like to say?
I do have something coming up, and it's in my wheelhouse. Because of property management, I help investors, of course, make money. My newest project is actually, I'm building with my best friend, an RV park in just about 20 minutes from here. And it's going to be called Butterfly Grove RV.
Okay. And where is that going to be located, on which highway?
It's right off Tin Top, on Tin Top and Highway 4. And we're really excited. That's another avenue for investors, and it's a very good investment. I'm an expert at tiny homes and RV parks.
Well, they definitely have grown over the last few years. You see them popping up everywhere. So I'm definitely going to ask you a little bit more about that. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on and jump onto the podcast. I'm sure the community members of Weatherford have learned a lot, and hopefully they reach out to you. And anybody else that caught this podcast that has a business that you'd like to jump on, get your name out there, tell some people about what you're doing. We'd love to have you. You can reach out to us. Our email will be in the description, but we'd love to have you on the show as well. Jeanette, I would like to thank you for coming on the show, and we look forward to staying in touch, and hopefully some people reach out.
That's great. Maybe I can come back and talk about RVs and tiny homes.
Yeah, we'd love to do that.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.